we go.
Funeral homes. Jennifer is here to discuss a sensitive subject we all need to talk and think about. Here now is Jennifer Graziano and Time to Talk.
Good afternoon, Westchester. It's 12 noon on Wednesday, and that means it's time to talk with me, Jen Graziano. I am a licensed funeral director who oversees my family's funeral homes, Cox and Graziano of both Mamaroneck and Greenwich, and the Zion Memorial Chapel of Westchester. Every Wednesday, I come to you discussing important topics and sensitive matters that all of us need to pause and reflect upon at some point, and through this show, I hope to provide a platform to do so. Good afternoon, listeners on 1460 WVOX, and welcome Facebook Live viewers. Happy to have you all tuning in for a repeat guest now, his second time with us on air. We're talking to Bryan Mirabella, who's known as a human performance specialist. I love the title because he's so much more than just a trainer, and you're going to hear why. He is a human performance specialist. He is looking to help his clients achieve optimal wellness, maximum functioning capacity out of their bodies. And he wrote an article for the newest Coming of Age magazine that is available digitally, shortly print to follow. And the article is entitled Aging is Misunderstood. So that's a great title to start from, but he's going to segue from there. We're going to discuss the lymphatic system, aging, wellness, but I'll let him go further before I ruin it. So welcome, Bryan.
Hi, Jen. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back. You had an amazing show last time. So many people learned, myself included. You spoke about the tightness in the body and how something as simple as stretching can just open you up, and so much of these debilitating conditions come from malfunctioning cells and lack of movement. You really make people realize that cures are not as far from reach as people might think. And you don't have to live in chronic pain, and you don't have to live unwell. If you're here, you might as well be making the best out of it, right?
Yes.
So talk a bit about what you do. Why are you known as a human performance specialist? Why are you different?
Well, because people are living in chronic pain, we want to know what the cause is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to label it as a disease. And the cause is you have what we call a dirty tank.
Okay.
So,
You have a dirty tank. That's
yeah.
not something the doctor's going to tell you, but you heard it on Time to Talk. So what does that mean?
Well, everybody has a lymphatic system, and
Okay.
it's your sewage system.
Okay.
Just like your house has a septic system.
Right.
So the reason someone would start to develop chronic pain or a dis-ease within the body is because they're not removing the waste properly.
Okay. So you have it makes so much sense. You have a buildup of toxins and things in your body that just need to get out.
Right. And it really is actually super simple. And the title of the article I wrote for your wonderful magazine, where it's called Aging is Misunderstood, is
Mm-hmm.
you're aging for two reasons. One is oxidative stress. So you breathe in air, there's chemicals in the air,
Mm-hmm.
except if you're in the mountains of the Andes.
Which we are not. We are in downtown New Rochelle.
Right. So you're toxifying the space that your cells live in, which is the environment.
Okay.
So from your skin inside to all the way through your bones is an environment that the cells live in. And your blood only makes up a quarter of the interstitial fluid, the fluids of your body. The other 3/4 of your fluids are lymph fluids. So there's 5 times more liquid of lymph than there is blood.
Okay.
And we don't talk about the lymph system at all.
No, I mean, I listen, I've had so many guests come on and talk about disease and illness and wellness and cures and chronic conditions, and it's not something that's frequently addressed, not by any means. Why do you feel that is? I mean, it sounds like it sounds like addressing this should be simple. I mean, does it involve hydration and flushing out toxins more regularly, or?
It involves flushing out toxins, but not through water.
I thought I was being really good today. I actually had a bottle. You never see me drink water, do you? So go ahead. So how do you propose that this be done?
Well, most people will maybe not like this, but fruits are nature's primal food.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can adopt a more astringent lifestyle of eating as many fruits as you can, then you can pull acids out of your body. So for instance, when you urinate, most people think having clear urine means it's good. They're hydrated, but in actuality, it's the opposite. If your
Really?
urine is clear,
They're not removing toxins.
right.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. No, that's good. Listen, if I get it, that shows that like every viewer is going to get that. So, okay, is it all fruits in general, or there's? I know like pineapple has certain enzymes that help with inflammation. I mean, is
Right.
it certain things, and is it vegetables as well, or are you just limiting this to fruit?
Well, there are certain vegetables that are good, but vegetables are more scrapers of the GI tract,
Okay.
so they can pull stuff off the walls.
So what is right? So what does fruit do differently?
It's an astringent.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it pulls it into the lymph system, into the kidneys to be excremented from the body.
You know, you really don't ever hear. I mean, you hear about the keto diet, the paleo diet, the no carb diet, you hear what's good and bad for you, but you never really hear a lot about fruit. And what you're saying makes me so happy because I have a 7-year-old that consumes fruit so much. It's
Good.
probably among the primary reasons that I work full time because, we go to the good stores like the Cherry Law markets and I always thought that was great because it was like natural sugars that she was taking in. But you don't really hear about these healing properties of fruit.
Right. In fact, you hear that fruit isn't good for you. It's too much sugar.
I hear that about grapes a lot. Grapes have bad
And
rap. actually,
grapes, you can go on a 30-day grape cleanse and it'll really do wonders for your system because it's a huge astringent.
This is so antithetical to everything I've always heard. I've always heard that grapes have too much sugar, they become fattening. And I'm always one of those people who say, I'm sorry, but if I'm eating a grape or watermelon, if that's what's going to get me fat, then so be it. Then that's what God intended. Because how could it be?
God didn't make food that was bad for us.
I agree with that. So now I know watermelons have amazing nutritional value, and again, the pineapple, inflammation. What about lemon? I know adding lemon to water, it's like one of the most amazing things that you can do. Hot water or cold water?
Cold.
Cold water. Okay.
Cold.
I'm a lot healthier than I thought. I'm loving this today. I didn't think I was nutritionally balanced at all. So cold water. Do you find that when people just begin this regimen, is it life-changing at a very quick rate? Do they see differences right away?
If you're unhealthy, you have to be very slow with it because it can create a cleansing reaction.
Okay.
And that could be anything. It could be when I was working on heavily into the breathing, which we talked about last time, I broke out in a sunburn all over my body because I was pushing toxicity out of my body. And you have 3 kidneys. You have a right kidney, a left kidney, and you have skin, which is your body's largest organ.
Okay.
So it allows things in, it allows sunlight, it allows oxygen in, but it also gets rid of waste. So for me, the sunburn was me eliminating toxins from my body. Now, fruit is important because it's easily diffusible, it's coenzymatic, and it carries 0 insulin response. Which is why to be taught that fruit has too much sugar is ridiculous. But one caveat is that you cannot combine fruit with other food. So if you're having dessert at the end of your meal and you're eating fruit, it becomes acidic. It has to be consumed
fruit on its
mono.
own.
So fruits, berries, and melons are the best way to detoxify your body.
That is so amazing. And it works out well because, again, who doesn't love that? I mean,
all your Gatorades are fruit flavored. All your gums are fruit flavored. We know people love fruits, so we flavor all the foods with them, but we tell them not to eat it because it's high sugar. Don't go to the fruit
itself. Oh my gosh, it's so simple, Bryan. It's so simple. Now, what do you find that it is? People just don't think of fruit as filling. I actually do. Like if I have an apple, I'm totally fine. Like and I enjoy it. I mean, I really do try to have that every day. Or I've actually been having just a banana every morning, and That's all you need. Like, it's not like I'm craving something else afterwards.
Yeah.
That's doing the trick. But you're saying fruits on their own is okay, are okay. Are you saying as meals or meal replacements? I mean, how often what are you advising? Is it that at every sitting we're just eating fruit?
Personally, I've been on a fruit cleanse for the last 5 weeks.
Okay.
So I've eaten nothing but fruit.
So you get up in the morning and you have what?
Oranges or grapes or grapefruits.
Okay.
And I don't eat bananas. That's more of a dense meal. Bananas are a powerhouse fruit, but they're not astringents.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to do is hydrate myself. And I see an acupuncturist who's a high-level Qigong master, and I haven't been drinking water in the last 5 weeks. And he said, your tissue, you're really hydrated. This diet is really working for you.
Wow.
I've lost a little weight, but that means I'm losing the stuff that needs to come out.
Right, because the muscle mass is still there. And being a fitness expert as you are, you don't find yourself feeling depleted?
I feel more
following a
energetic
workout?
than I've ever felt in my life.
Any shakes or any...
No.
Nothing?
No, I feel better than, and I always feel good. I noticed a huge difference, but it's more like controllable energy.
And you're not hungry?
No.
Have you tried this, Tim?
I'm experimenting with it now, yeah.
Have you gone like straight fruit, like 3 meals a day?
Last week I had one meal in between 3 days, and this week I haven't had anything but fruit since Sunday night. So
Wow.
we're just about to Wednesday, and I'm not going to eat until Thursday night. I'll have dinner with the kids on Thursday night.
Okay.
Well, he just made a big point too. You talked about intermittent fasting again, which I think we spoke about in the last show.
We
as
did.
well. So when you say 3 times a day, actually I'm eating more than that because fruit goes through you fast.
Right.
So I'm eating within a 7-hour window.
So but you're not of that intermittent fasting.
No, I heavily believe
you
that.
do heavily believe. Okay. But you're not counting this, having these frequent fruit meals. You're still considering yourself being nourished. That's not fasting.
Right.
Okay. So
Right.
Okay.
The
And
best nourishment you can possibly have is from fruit.
Did you find, Tim, trying this, was it a difficult transition? I mean, did you find that this was not filling, or were you pleasantly surprised that you found that you were able to endure?
Well, when he said I could eat as much fruit as I want, I did. So, if I was hungry, I was eating fruit, and if I wasn't, I didn't. So I would just listen to my body. But if I could eat as much fruit as I want, I ate as much fruit as I want.
Is there anything that we're missing from this? Like you said berries, you said melons, you said grapefruits.
Yeah.
What else? Like what am I missing?
No, fruits, berries, and melons.
Mango.
Yep.
Those are good. Plums.
Yep.
Nectarines.
Sure.
All of that stuff.
All of it.
Okay.
All of it. It's got phytonutrients in it. It's got sunlight trapped in the water molecules. So you're eating the frequency of the sun. Whereas I would call it a step down. So vegetables would be a step down because they're more dense and they're less hydrophilic, full of water. So every food is a step down from fruit.
So basically this diet that you're introducing us to today has age reversal capabilities because it's allowing you to remove waste from your system for some really good lymphatic drainage, moving out the toxins, eliminating toxicity, eliminating the things that we just don't need, which in essence kind of revitalize our cells.
Yeah, it restores your pH balance.
Okay.
So you're either eating something acidic or something that goes in alkaline. So that's chemistry. There's only 2 sides. It's either base or it's acidic. And when you're eating fruits, your pH balance is normalized. You push out the acidity, which you should see in your urine as sedimentation.
Okay.
Maybe
so that's
even tiny little crystals in the urine.
Okay.
Means you're pushing out those acids.
You're getting rid of what you don't need.
Right.
Okay.
And the aging process is because you are acidic.
Really?
So it causes oxidative stress.
So, and again, as you're aging chronologically, I mean, there are different factors, but
Stress.
light environmental stress. Oh, I get that. I aged a little bit in the past couple of hours, but less movement as well.
Mm-hmm.
So as your body is becoming more stiff and losing elasticity and movement, it's also prohibiting you from pushing out toxins, mobility,
Yes.
circulation as well. So
Right.
you have two forces kind of working together and against you. Your
Right.
body starts to work against you.
People think, they need to do yoga to increase flexibility, but there's actually no such thing as flexibility. You're creating space in the interstitial fluids. So when you remove waste, you create
You're
space.
doing the same thing.
Yeah, you get more flexible.
Okay. And again, flexibility just reflects the tightness and
Right,
that lack
it's
of space.
toxicity, that's it.
Exactly. So if you can remove that, and not to say that yoga is a bad idea, I think it's a great
Yeah.
idea. I think the mental benefits of it are amazing.
Well, it helps to push fluids through your body, but once you reorganize those fluids, are you removing them? So are your kidneys working? Are your adrenal glands
So once you
working?
move them, are you pushing them out?
Right.
So you break it up, and now you got to get it out.
Right.
What about massage therapy? I mean, like when pressure points are applied in
great
acupuncture
question.
too. Like, is that doing the breakup
Great question.
and the move out?
Acupuncture is on its own level. That and cupping. The bruising you see from cupping is the stagnation in your body. So that's the waste. That's metabolic waste. Now there's two types of waste. There's digestive waste that comes out in your poop, and there's metabolic waste that goes from the cell going through its chemical reactions into the lymph system, and then the lymph system drains into the kidneys. Now your textbooks will tell you that the lymph system drains into the subclavian vein up here and then into the venous part of the heart, but your blood can't have acids in it or you die.
Okay.
So why would nutrition's found in the blood, why would we say that we're now pushing the waste back into the blood and then into the kidneys? No, your kidneys are your filtration and your skin. So right kidney filters right side of the body, left kidney filters left side of the body, and the skin takes care of the rest.
Okay. So those are other good, again, though, we talk about massage and acupuncture as kind of a good supplemental way to help remove.
Sure. Massage is good if you're knowing that after the massage, maybe you're going and eating juicy fruits.
Yeah.
So then you
the
take those
fruits are
toxins
made
that have
from-
been pushed all through the system,
Get 'em
awakened,
out.
and get them out.
Can you briefly speak to cupping, because it's such a new thing, and I have actually done it just maybe once or twice, but I'll have you explain it.
Yeah.
Because you're far more an expert.
Well, cupping is great, and it's been around for 5,000 years. But if you remember in the last 2016 Olympics, all the American swimmers had the cup marks all over them. They were on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So that cupping is a little bit different than Chinese traditional cupping. They just literally put a cup on you and they suction it, and they pull the skin through the cup. And then what they do is they were having the swimmers move while the cups were on them, just to create more tissue release.
Okay.
Then they took an MRI and they put it on the space where the cup was, and you could see the cellular space around space, but then you would see a big divot where the cup was.
Oh.
And then what we would call a trigger point, stuck tissue, moved into the empty space, and the trigger point would go down, which gives the swimmer more mobility.
Okay.
Didn't increase flexibility, it gave them space to move.
Okay. So benefits of that, and again, these are, if you're talking to someone who, let's say, is over 70, and they want to make the argument of their nutritional needs that are very different as you age, there's a depletion of vitamins, depletion of nutrients that you have to counterbalance with your diet. How would you make the case to say that this fruit diet, it's not a fad, it's age-friendly across the board?
There's not a depletion of vitamins and nutrients. There's an excessive buildup of waste.
Just, gotcha. Okay. So it's not that you're losing anything, it's just you have to lose the waste and you'll reconnect with the
and
good
then
stuff that's
things
in you.
will start regenerating.
It's interesting, you think of babies, right? And the first foods that we eat. I remember when my daughter was a baby, I never had jarred food. Like I made it all, I would steam it, but so much of it was fruit, not the steaming part, but it was always, and it was a first child, so it's not like I had this lifelong wisdom. It just made sense. They would sell the little net that you'd put the piece of melon in, and she'd bite on the melon, and I just remember thinking it has nutritional value, it's refreshing, it has taste, like why wouldn't a 10-month-old baby want this?
Right.
And it was just such common sense, but when you think about it, it's common sense throughout the way. as we age. It doesn't just make sense for the baby in your
Yeah.
arm is fussy and you want to give them something in their mouth. It makes sense for all of our ages. And I think it's interesting, Tim, you having tried it kind of like the lay person in the room, like the test case. I mean, this guy, we kind of expect him to know what he's doing. But, I mean, when he told you, did you not think he was crazy?
No, well, no, like you, it makes sense. It's just that people don't, you get wrapped up in society and just going and eating, 3 square meals a day, and, you keep getting fed that information, then, and the food pyramid that's out there, what you're supposed to do. But, when he said just eat as much fruit as you want and just do that, I didn't. It was uncommon for me. I wasn't ready for that, but I had no problem adapting to it. It's been, fun, and I'm not hungry one bit in the last 3 days.
Let's face it, guys. There's so many worse things that you can eat when
Yeah.
you eat some of these like disgusting meal replacement bars that are like taste awful.
I lived on them.
Right, but I mean, this is good. Like this
Yeah.
is.
Right.
I'm so happy to go home and have the grapes that I
Yeah.
also, because every time this guy comes on, he like dispels something that I've heard all my life, like the
Yeah.
breathing thing in the last episode. All right, I want to talk about though quickly. Our time is kind of drawing to a close, but in the article you title it "Aging is Misunderstood." From your perspective, what do you mean by that? What's misunderstood about it? It's going to happen to all of us.
Well, the cell ages because of the toxicity. So remove the toxicity and the cell will actually reverse its age.
So misunderstood in the sense that people just think it's this process that has to happen and they're going to weaken or they're going to get tired. That arguably doesn't have to happen.
Right.
If you're maintaining proper lymphatic drainage, you don't necessarily have to show the signs of aging on your face and your skin and your gait and your walk and your...
Yeah. I'm going to be 50 in July and I feel as good as I did when I was 20 and I know I move like it. But I didn't, these last 10 years I've actually created what I call, I'm always hashtagging youthing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm youthing right now. I'm literally reversing age.
I love that.
And I think it's available for all of us, every single human.
When you have a birthday coming up, age is a little sensitive. I love this show today. You talk about 5 pathways, which are things that people can do for healthy aging, or youthing, as you say. Meditation being one of them, daily breath work, stress relief, lowering your environmental stress. I'm sure you can argue a great case that environmental stress factors have significant impact on cell metabolism and cell aging as well.
They do, and they're going to be highly exponentially increased if you're also not removing the waste. So once you start removing waste, you start to feel better, then you don't react to stress the same way.
That makes sense. That really does make sense. When you're energetic, when you're feeling good, when you're physically feeling good, things tend to bother you a lot less.
It's very simple. That's why I call, healing is simple.
It is. No, I think you make it very approachable for people. I think people watching and listening are, if they take one thing away, it's that we don't have to be victims. We don't have to be victims of your bodies. You can take control, and it's not you're not advocating doing something that's so hard to do. You're not saying develop this crazy gym regimen, which I know you have. Like, I follow you online. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for that, folks. I don't know if any of us are, but I give them so much credit. But simple things, removing waste. I mean, I think people need to do that in every aspect of their lives, internally, externally. Yeah. All right, so meditation, breathing. See the previous show if you want to know how he says to breathe. Nutrition and hydration, organic fruits. Really quickly, organic fruits make a difference. People sometimes just argue, oh, it's just a higher price point. Explain to us, though, what we're getting for an organic fruit.
Well, you're trying to limit your exposure to Monsanto glyphosate.
The pesticides.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically an organic fruit or veggie is something that has not been touched by pesticide.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it has.
It's probably few and far between that you get a truly organic piece of anything. Grow it in your backyard.
I was just going to say, if you could...
My Nana's fig tree was organic.
Eating off the vine is as good as it gets.
Absolutely. Grow your own stuff. Eliminating toxins, sugar, wheat, dairy, processed oils, poisons. I mean, again, you see celiac disease, gluten sensitivities. These were not even a product of my young upbringing. As much you see them rampant today. Food is being created differently. It's manufactured. There's stuff in there that we don't need. So going to this back to basics fruit diet off the bat will eliminate these toxins. Support your body's detoxification system. Learn how to do lymphatic brushing and frequent saunas. So you're a sweat guy. You believe in those like sweat infrared
Your
saunas?
skin is your third kidney, so it's
Good,
pulling,
I do those.
It's pulling the, all those diseases that you mentioned are acidosis. That's it. You can, again, I'm going to make it simple. It's acidosis.
So sweat it out.
Sweat it out.
Sweat it out.
Do your lymph drainage exercises and eat your fruits, especially first thing in your first meal needs to be juicy hydration fruits.
I am excited for that.
Otherwise, you continue to back yourself up. We call it agglomeration. So here's a good example. Take a bowl of rice, leave it on your kitchen counter overnight, blend up a bunch of bananas, leave it on your kitchen counter overnight, and then see what the rice looks like in the morning and see what the bananas look like in the morning.
Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Bryan. Amazing information,
you,
useful information. Find more about Bryan Mirabella at quantumfitness.org. And this is Jen Graziano thanking you for taking the time to listen as we took the time to talk. Have a great day, Westchester. Bye-bye.